All right. All right. Post game is on the way. Arkansas with a big win. Let's talk about it. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Yo, there we go. There we go. All right. We're going to give everyone a little bit of time to get in here. Give you a couple more minutes here before we get going. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys, shout out to SLR YouTube channel. That guy, it's always awesome. Hop in there with his chat. Again, make sure if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We had the watch party up. I ended it a little bit soon and took the stream down. So if you're looking for it, it won't be there. So I took it down. We were there. We had fun. I kind of contemplated. Probably didn't plan on keeping it up. The traffic just wasn't really there, and it was, I don't know, 3 streams up on the same day, plus we had the short that was uploaded, so I went ahead and decided to take that down. Sometimes you can just kind of overwhelm the audience a little bit with too much content, so I was like, you know what? Traffic's not there, not a lot of people here. We're just going to end it and delete that live, and we did. But it was fun for a little bit. I always enjoy talking with people, talking about the Razorbacks. I've been kind of at it nonstop since about 9:30 a.m. So yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. There's a lot to say here, and yet in a game that was, it's meaningful because it starts the season off, but it wasn't what we. I don't know. It was a great game, great effort. Loved the energy. Loved just the way those guys looked, especially in the first half. When they were feeling it, when everybody was in the game, Trevon Brazile would get ejected in the second half, but when everybody was available and everyone was, playing like the game was 0-0, Arkansas just looked unstoppable. Alcorn State had absolutely no answer. Their only hope, Alcorn State's only hope, was to go with a little bit of full court press. And the youngsters you could tell some of the younger guys, or maybe some of the guys weren't that used to, they had a little bit of trouble switching, with that full court press. Camo Gang says, please God what? Blocker's energy is crazy. Stop being pessimistic. Okay, Fish. All right, buddy. Team is going to be good, says Ramon Shiesty. Yeah. They certainly look like they could score from just about anywhere. Very impressive. The hustle was there, man. They were going up and down the floor. Let be true. WTF. Blocker is awesome, and they were mugging him the whole game. They were, man. They were all over that kid, huh? That young man, but they responded really well. I thought Arkansas, the youngins did a good job. They responded pretty well. It got a little sloppy there towards the end, but we'll go over the whole thing. Ty, you watch the games on YouTube also. I kind of go around wherever there's a chat going on. I like to hop in. You'll see me comment on, what's that SEC comedy channel, the SEC shorts, whatever. I'll comment on those. If there's a live chat somewhere, I'm probably going to be there. I like hanging out with the SEC crowd, with the Arkansas crowd. I hope we don't have to play a Little Rock game this year. Ty was busy kung fu fighting. Oh, I was paying attention to the game, Tercer. Absolutely. I really liked what I saw, especially in the first half. Now, where I'm going to go with this. I talked about this in the stream. It is Alcorn State, okay? This is not a team that's going to hang with any Power 5, a decent Power 5 basketball team. Arkansas certainly looks several steps ahead of a decent team. I mean, they look good, man. Shout out to the Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you. If you're curious about joining Patreon, here's a link for you. Please consider joining. Show a little support to an independent channel, a small business. Glad no one got hurt against a very frustrated Alcorn. Yeah, you saw that, Casey. I saw that too in the second half. They looked very frustrated. I mean, they got a little, little aggressive. They got a little aggressive for sure. All right. Shout out to the show sponsors as well. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They operate out of Central Arkansas and in Northwest Arkansas. They offer same-day services, hundreds of five-star reviews, better than best results. Give them a call today. Their link is provided for you down below. And, of course, shout out to the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzaria down on Emma Street in Springdale on the south side of town. Fantastic pies, local IPAs, man. They've got you covered. Great environment to watch a game or just hang out with your pals, whatever you want to do. It's a really neat place. Go check them out. Again, that's the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzaria. Both those links for the sponsors, they're located down below. I am a little like, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pretty tired. Been putting a lot into it today. Overload a lot of content. Got a lot of content thrown at you today. We did the short. We did the live stream for Monday's show. We did the live stream for the game, the watch party, which I did end up taking down and deleting. And now we're doing this. So I am feeling a little like I'm about ready for bed. It's 9:30, y'all. But we're gonna get this game out of the way, though, huh? We're gonna talk about it just a little bit. Why not? Arkansas did a really good job on the boards, at least when they had their what you felt like their 8 or 9 guys that you feel like are going to end up being, being the starters and being a part of that 9-man rotation. They out-rebounded these guys in double digits about the whole game. They ended up with 44 rebounds to Alcorn State's 26. Now, it's tough to say whether or not Arkansas is going to out-rebound everybody they play or not, but I'm going to tell you, I was – just really impressed with their effort trying to crash the boards a little bit. They certainly looked like rebounding was something they wanted to straighten out since the Purdue game. Purdue is your typical, again, you guys know, long, physical, they're going to crash boards. They're going to have a couple of bigs around the rim at all times. They're just that kind of team, and they're going to beat you in rebounding. And it was very clear that Arkansas wanted to crash the boards tonight. And 44 rebounds, not too shabby. 14 offensive rebounds, not too bad either. Battle will end up now. He only got 20. He got 19 minutes. I thought he was in the 20s. He had 19 minutes. He had 21 points. So obviously that's more than a point per minute. That's pretty good. It's pretty good output, man. So if you picked Battle in Discord for the prediction, you're going to get some XP. If you're a Patreon supporter, you're going to get even more XP. 16 points by Tremont Mark. Tremont Mark was also, played pretty good. Was absolutely killing it outside. Arkansas shot 12 of 30. 12 of 30 outside, baby. 40% on 30 attempts? You mean to tell me, like last year, if they shot the ball that much outside, they're shooting around 28%. They looked comfortable, fluid. They were all on the same page. I thought it was just pretty good. It was really good. They were scoring at all 3 levels. How about Brazil knocking down another 3? We've seen him do that in the exhibitions, and then we saw him do it tonight. He got ejected, but he still had 13 points. I jinxed him. I said he was going to get it. He was on his way to a double-double, and then he got ejected. 22 minutes, he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1 offensive rebound, just 1 turnover, no blocks. according to Arkansas stat sheet. I thought he got a piece of a ball, but I guess not enough. He did end up with a steal. Joseph Pinion had a couple of steals tonight and wound up quietly having 7 points. He got better as the game went on, but I still think he's going to struggle, guys. I think he's going to struggle. Now, he shot 1 for 2 outside. He was perfect at the free throw line, right? Like, there's a little bit there. Like, okay, now you need to build. You need to start building. You need to start, and I kind of was hoping tonight for him would be that night. But I kind of feel like he was getting in the way of minutes that other players I wanted to see. He ended up with 13 minutes, which, again, about what you would expect. I kind of thought maybe he should be in single digits tonight. But you can't overlook the 4 for 4. You can't overlook shooting 50% off just 2 shots. And the 7 points isn't horrible, okay? He got 1 bucket on the night. Layden Blocker, a little too handsy, but I loved Layden Blocker's effort tonight. Now, he was a problem. He was like white on rice for a lot of this game. I thought defensively he played pretty well. You know, and I said it during that live stream. I said, man, he's really giving off some Devo Davis vibes, even with the fouling, right? Him and Bay Fall both ended up fouling out. So you had 3 players essentially not get to finish this game, including Brazil, who got ejected. I mean, there's a lot to go over. Everybody got minutes. You get a minute. You get some minutes. You get some minutes. Layson Block got a minute. Kate Arbogast got a couple of minutes tonight. Everyone got minutes, so it's really tough to go in too deep on all of these guys. You can't do that. But I was really, again, the guys that stood out to me, Tremont Mark, Khalif Battle, really loved the effort by Layden Blocker, who had a steal, 1 turnover. He had an assist. How about Devo with 5 assists tonight? 5 points, 5 assists, 5 boards. Now, he got 3 fouls, and he logged 24 minutes. Overall, 93-59. Arkansas really, they could have kept pouring it on. They could have broke 100 points easy. Without a doubt. But obviously the last 7 or 8 minutes, they just started subbing in the guys that are just happy to be here. You know what I mean? I just hope everybody has fun. That's kind of who some of those guys were, let's be real. And then you have guys like Pinion, who's really trying to fight to get into that rotation. Arkansas's bench points, again, you expect it to be pretty high. I don't know that I would have guessed it being this high. 49 bench points, 32 points in the paint, 22 points off turnovers, really good number there. They forced 16 turnovers, 8 second chance points, not bad. 14 offensive offensive rebounds, 18 fast break points, 7 dunks. I think Brazil had like 5 of those. And we're not even talking about Graham. Like, Graham quietly, well, I say quietly, he had dunks, you know. He had a dunk, a couple of dunks, I think, and looked pretty good, 4 of 6 overall. He was over 2 at the free throw line. Again, like I said, the only gripe I might have is free throw shooting. Like, I want this team, especially at home, I don't care who the hell you're playing against, need to be north of 75% at the charity stripe. Now, to be fair, they had a lot of attempts. They had 37 attempts at the free throw line, but you still want to be north of 74, 75% when you're at home, you know, and maybe just south of that is understandable when you're in a hostile environment on the road. But yeah, overall, that would probably be the only thing, right? I mean, they got a little sloppy in the second half. They struggled. They only outscored Alcorn State, not by much. I don't remember what it was. It was like 6 points they outscored in the second half. It wasn't good in the second half. Again, they kind of struggled with that full court press. A lot of that, again, on the younger guys and the guys that are just fighting to get minutes, you know. So we didn't really see what we believe to be their 8 to 9 man rotation have to deal when they were all in on sets, when they were all in that rotation, trying to find that vibe. We didn't really see Alcorn State get that aggressive until Arkansas's lead got really out of hand, and then Alcorn State got desperate. And at that point, Arkansas started beginning to subbing in the guys that are just trying to fight to get minutes. So we didn't really get to see the starters get the full brunt force of the full court press. Someone said we were getting out rebounded tonight. I don't know what game they were watching. I thought Arkansas did a great job on the boards. Again, the 40% shooting outside off 30 attempts, dude. I don't think they ever came close to that last year. There might have been a couple of games maybe. I don't know, but 40% off 30 attempts. That's pretty good. I say that. No, they definitely got close a couple of times, especially when Devo got hot there towards the halfway point in the season. Whoo, boy, they got a lot here. Okay, we got Tercer. Welcome to the membership, my man. Tercer he's now a Tuss Talk member here on live on YouTube. Goodness, I feel fried. 34-point win. I like it. What's up, Tony Brown? I figured you would like that, man. I figured you would like that. I mean, how could you not? That was not bad. Total foul. Someone asked. Arkansas ended up with 23. What did they end up with? It felt like a lot. 27. Yeah, a lot of foul. It felt like that whistle was just going and going, didn't it? I mean, it just felt like it was going and going. A little surprised they were so whistle happy, especially considering the score. You'd think they'd want to get the hell out of there, but it is what it is. Yeah, so there's a lot. I mean, Battle, I mean, he looked bonkers. He looked just fantastic. Mark, he had 21 minutes. Battle got 19. They're definitely going to get more minutes than that. Ellis got 23 minutes, quietly had 8 points. Devo looked more like the distributor tonight. He looked like someone playing the point. He looked like a point guard tonight, and is still willing to go after. I mean, he had 5 boards, 5 assists. You don't like the 3 fouls. 0 turnovers. And 3 fouls are fine. 3 fouls are fine, but at the same time, he only played 24 minutes. But that was something, too, I can remember early on in his career as a Hog. He had to get smarter about his fouling and about how active his hands were. Don't want to get a little too active, right? But Devo, 5 boards again, 1 of 3 outside, 2 of 5 overall shooting. He didn't get any attempts at the free throw line. Everyone kind of had a good moment. Bay Fall had a couple of good moments, and he had he fouled out, but he had 4 boards. Only 9 minutes. He had some pretty quality minutes. And the same with Graham. I would have thought Graham, even though he only got the 14 minutes, I would have thought he was going to get double-digit points. I mean, he's showing what we've seen before, where he has that spurtability factor. He comes off the bench, and next thing you know, you look up, he's got 4 or 5 points. I say 5. He didn't have he went 0 for 2 at the charity stripe. But, again, he was 4 of 6 with 8 points, and he had 8 boards in 14 minutes. That's called quality minutes. No turnovers. Believe it or not, no fouls, no turnovers. Now, he didn't have an assist, but that's not really his game, right? He's going to be someone you want to come off the bench. You expect him in that 8 to 9 man rotation for sure. If he's going to have that kind of spurtability where he can come off the bench, get 12 to 15 minutes, and get you 8, 9, 10, 12 points, something like that. That's kind of what you want Graham to be. And maybe every once in a while he goes off on the offensive end of the floor. I think he's got that in him. Remember what they were saying about him when he transferred in a year ago. So, yeah, again, impressed with all the transfers tonight. I don't know that anybody really played a bad game. I don't like the 3 turnovers by Battle or L. Ellis, but again, they were trying to drive the lane, make things happen. It's game 1, man. It's game 1. Turnovers weren't great. 15 turnovers, I guess, would be the other thing you're not too thrilled about. 50 turnovers, you got to you're only +5 in the assist-to-turnover ratio. Got to calm those turnovers down, man. But it's game 1, so we're going to take that with a grain of salt, right? We're going to take it with a grain of salt. Some of the bigs were kind of just putting up terrible shots. Yeah, there was some questionable shot selection. I think, again, some of that, you got to give credit to Alcorn State. I mean, they got pretty aggressive. They got in the face of those guys. It certainly looked like to them they were taking this game pretty personal. I'm fried on that Alcorn State pack, says Swaggy. Second half was garbage time, and Muss isn't running the regular playbook. That's experimentation. Yeah, I mean that's what I would call it. I mean, yeah, he's experimenting. He's kind of working his way. He's trying to thread the needle with some of these guys a little bit. Again, shooting. It looks like they're going to be able to score at all three levels. I mean, I even saw a couple little 13-foot floaters. Trying to finish around the rim. What did they do in that department? It seemed like they were pretty good finishing around the rim. They didn't make everything. Got a little much at times. Arkansas did end up out blocking Alcorn State, 4 blocks to their 3, 10 steals, and again, the assists, guys, 20 assists. I mean, calm the turnovers down. Maybe 10 turnovers, a 2-1 with a 20 assist game. Good Lord. But again, they played guys that aren't going to get a lot of minutes. They got a lot of those cats played a lot of minutes. Cut the turnovers by 5 or 6, hit free throws. Otherwise, very solid play by the Hogs, says Jay Hogs. I agree. Brody Farrell, hey man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a minute. Some of the bigs were kind of just putting up. Oh, I already read that, didn't I? My bad. Did I already read that? I feel like I did. Some of the bigs were just kind of putting up terrible shots. I did already read that. Ellis was a little ball hogging. I think some of that's by design. I think that's kind of what Muss is kind of okay with that, Blocker wasn't handling the full court press very well, says Eric Marler. Not very much back there to help him. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the full court press threw them off for sure. And that's when things got pretty ugly, it seemed like. Especially when you were already kind of like you're blowing, the game was already out of reach at that point. Now they're going full court press. Maybe they did it a little bit sooner than I'm remembering, but I seem to remember by the time they really amped up the aggression, talking about Alcorn State, it's when this thing was like 25, 28-point lead by Arkansas, and Arkansas was kind of subbing in the guys just begging for minutes at that point. And again, they would bring the starters back out as well a little bit, but you could tell they're trying to search and find what they can work with. Lone Sports, I don't know what's funny and why you're crying. Team is stacked with talent. They are so hard to score on and impossible to stop on the offensive end. Final Four caliber team. Watch. Hey, man, you don't have to convince me, Bobby. I got you. I don't agree with the Brazil ejection. That was silly. I mean, he left the bench area. I don't know. Give him a warning or something or a technical, whatever. But ejection, come on, man. Too many turnovers, says J-Dog. Thank you, Kate. What'd Kate say? Oh, talking about the turn. I'm sorry. Ty, let's hear you loud and proud. Woo pig for the chat. I don't know, man. I'm toast. I'm like, I almost feel, and I have been drinking. I mean, I have been drinking some whiskey, but that has nothing to do with it. I feel like I'm just toast. I'm drinking Old Smoky Salty Caramel tonight. I mean, it's mass-produced, mainstream whiskey. It's not like some Hidden Valley whiskey made by hand. It's nothing like that. It's, you could find a bottle of it. Mass-produced. It is what it is. I mean, what alcohol is it mass-produced? I get it, but, I'm not a big Old Smoky guy, but I wanted to try this salty caramel. Someone had said I need to try it, so I bought it. It's only like $10. I guess my previous comment didn't show up. Well, let me scroll on up here. Hang on just a second. I guess it didn't because I'm not seeing it. Money Mars says Brazil being ejected just shows us how soft they try to make sports. With him in, we could have scored 100 points. Money, I don't think you're wrong, man. That was a little, I don't know. I don't get it. It was silly. I'm sorry, Lone Sportsman. I guess your comment didn't show up. I'm not seeing it. Wild Turkey 101 always goes down smooth. This is smooth. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I had their Old Smoky like pecan. I'm a big I love pecans, bro. I could eat pecan. I can sit here and munch on pecans. I was eating some spicy cucumbers earlier, and it was trying to come up. But this stuff is pretty smooth. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's pretty good. Arkansas is better than you think, says Battle played one game and became my favorite player. Man, wasn't that fun, though. I mean, in the first half, how could you not dig what you were seeing, man? I mean, it just felt like, I don't know. It felt like everything was just, they're going to be solid. Yeah, Mitchell did get, someone mentioned Mitchell. He got 4 minutes, didn't really do much. Now, you know, and I thought I noticed that when the game was going on. I was kind of looking for Mitchell a little bit. I suspect he's going to get – I mean, come on, how do you not? He's another 6'10". He's another big, and we saw what he's capable of last year. Is just a pure rim defender. But does he get kind of – I don't know. What happens with what's going on in the paint for these guys? You know, Lawson tonight was also another guy that didn't get a lot of minutes. He had 8 minutes. Just 8 minutes. Bayfall had 9. You know, kind of, I don't know. It's hard to get everybody minutes, man. It's hard. It's not, I don't know. It's when you're this deep and you're trying to keep everybody happy, you know. Who do you want to see with more playing time and who do you want to see with less? Reese, that's tough because we're one game in, right? That's pretty tough. I mean, I'd like to see Blocker get in there just because of his defensive presence. He gives off, if he can play a little bit smarter defense, right? He gives off some Devo vibes. Just with that energy, active hands. I mean, he never looked like he could get torched. Although, was it him that fell down though early in or halfway through the first half? Someone did get. Was it him? I really think that was just him losing his balance. Other than that, if that was him, it might have been Tremont Mark. I don't know. Someone got. I don't know what happened, but other than that, like I was really impressed. I'm pretty sure Blocker. You know, he's going to be a defensive hound. I'm pretty sure. I kind of thought he might get a few more points, get some more opportunities to score. I'd kind of like to see him play more. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like we kind of know what to expect out of Brazil and Ellis, and I mean, we know what to expect out of Devo. Lawson only got the 8 minutes tonight. A little bit surprising, but not really considering the score, I guess, and Musk trying to get the other guys in some more time. I want to see Graham with more minutes. I want to see him. I love that dude's spurt ability, man. And I thought his defense tonight, at least the hustle side of it, was good. Now, Musselman has a separate level of expectations. Every once in a while, he just kind of surprises you with his comments in his post game or when he talks to the media. You know, you'll think someone, oh yeah, you'll brag or I'll brag on him on a show. And then you'll hear Musk be like, yeah, no, he could have been better. And I'm like, shit, okay, all right, what'd I miss, coach? What'd I miss? But, I mean, that's why he's paid the big bucks, man. I mean, he has a level of expectation, especially defensively, that you have to respect. You know, you got to respect. But, yeah, I'd like to see Blocker. I'd like to see Graham. I don't know about Davenport. What little we've seen of him, you know, he was 1 of 6 overall, 1 of 6 outside. Just too many. There is no look to feed anybody with that guy. He gets it. It's quick trigger. And he was 1 for 6. You know, you're happy he made the 1, right? But 1 for 6. Quick trigger. Doesn't look to feed. You know, doesn't look to pass. Doesn't look to do anything. He's just going to shoot it. And that's fine if he's, 3 of 6, right? 3 of 7. 4 of 8. 4 of 9. That's kind of understandable if you're going to have a quick trigger. If you're going to be a guy that just wants to get the ball and put it up, okay. But and they were not good looks. Like his shot selection was, I don't know. I would have to go back and rewatch, but I felt like the majority of his shots, they weren't clean. They were awkward. And he's just throwing it up. And it felt like every time he had the ball in his hand, it was going to end up being a wasted possession. And several of them were. And there was no movement. There was no ball movement. We know Musselman's a guy that counts the amount of passes. That guy's going to be lucky to have 2. Not very impressed, but as I say every year we do this, it's game 1, and they got to settle in, and they got to find that fluidity, right? They got to figure out how to play well with one another. Davenport kind of feels like him and Pinion both, although Pinion did eventually find his way offensively with 7 points, 1 for 2 outside. Him and Pinion at times, Pinion just feels like a square peg round hole. Davenport just, I don't know. He seems out of sync to me. I didn't really watch him on the defensive end of things, but he didn't look bad defensively. Now, I could be wrong. Again, my eyes just weren't on him on defense, but I don't know. He had 18 minutes tonight. So, he did have, on the plus side, I say that he did have 3 assists. Okay, I must have missed. I knew he had at least 1, but I didn't know he had 3. He had a foul. He didn't turn the ball over, right? But 18 minutes, quick trigger. I'm surprised he has 3. I'm highlighting that now. I pulled the screen down and I see the rest of his numbers. He had 3. I'm surprised by that. I'm really surprised by that. He looked like as soon as he got the ball, he's just gonna shoot it. I want to see him. Three assists isn't bad, but I don't want to see that quick trigger unless you're on fire, my man. 1 for 6 isn't horrible. We've seen good players shoot worse, but we've seen that in exhibition. He just gets it and he just puts it up. But Battle was the guy for me tonight. Battle and Mark. Mark was 4 of 6 outside shooting. Battle was 8 of 9 at the line. He was 50% outside off 6 attempts. Again, 21 points as your leader. So, yeah, you're going to start to see less Blake, less Arbogast. Probably going to see a little bit less of one of the 2 freshmen. I don't know what to make of Mitchell's situation. I don't know if he's 4 minutes, I would have guessed he would have gotten about 12 or 14 tonight, but he got 4. Coming into the game, I would have guessed that. But Bayfall with just 9 minutes and 4 boards. He ended up with 4 points. Not a horrible 9 minutes. Not a horrible 9 minutes. Yeah, and I agree. Had Brazil been full go the whole game, you probably would have broke 100 points. I agree with that. Brazil, those dunks, man. You could feel that 20 feet under Bud Walton. Those dunks were – he's just – I don't know. He's going to be good. There's just no – and I know I'm stating the obvious here. He is such a weapon, especially if he's going to knock down a couple of threes. If he's going to take 3 or 4 threes a game, I'm fine with that. As long as he's shooting like this. We saw him, was it Purdue? He knocked down 2. He was 2 of 4 against Purdue. I think he knocked 1 down the game before that. Dude, if he's going to take 3 or 4 shots outside, I'm fine with it. So long as he's doing that. So long as he's not going 0 for 3, 0 for 4 every night, you don't mind him doing that at all. It's going to stretch the floor. It's going to force a forward or a 5 or a 4 come up, kind of maybe create a little bit of space. It's going to allow the guard to cut a little easier. All of a sudden now you've got to worry about someone like Brazil knocking down the 3. He's everything Connor Vanover wanted to be in less height, way more athleticism. He was good on the boards too. He had 6 boards and all of them were with effort, But it was Harris had 7 boards also. Harris had a quiet, productive night, didn't he? See, there's so many guys. I have to scroll down and go through all their numbers, and you're gonna miss something. Again, Harris was 50% at the free throw line, not great, but 1 of 2 ended up with 5 points, 7 boards, man. That's productive. That's a solid 12 minutes. That's a productive 12 minutes for sure. This is a team where some players in some games will play 5. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Tremont Mark. I mean, it looked like he wasn't even trying. He was knocking down those 3 balls. 21 minutes, again, 16 points. And the other thing, too, again, that stands out, it is the bench points. The bench points are very impressive for Arkansas, which shouldn't shock you considering you knew they were going to play those guys off the bench tonight, but 49 bench points. And, again, 32 points in the paint, 22 points off turnovers. So, yeah, listen, 59% scoring, 21% turnover. Let's see. They led 39 minutes and 40 seconds. I know, you're surprised. They were tied for 19 seconds. Yeah, 14 offensive rebounds. You're going to take that any night of the week. Gaming with this guy says, so seeing Arkansas be really good at basketball again always makes my heart happy. I love when they're good. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice? Like, they haven't been this level of relevant since I was in grade school. Like, year in and year out. Like, the expectation. I've talked about that before here, about how, as a kid, the expectations were Arkansas is going to make Elite Eight, Final Four. Like, those were the expectations. We're there now. And I mean, I just turned 40. It's nice to have that feeling back, right? It's nice to have that feeling back. If you guys want to join Patreon, please consider helping out this channel. Shout out, of course, to all of our Patreon supporters. We hit 63 support, 62, 63. We hit 60 plus supporters on Patreon. That is huge, man. Cannot tell you guys how appreciative I am of that. Bay seems clumsy out there. He looked a little, I don't know. He's got to tighten up a little bit, but I think by the time he leaves college, he's going to be fine. I think by the time he's ready to move on to whatever that is, whatever his ceiling is, he's someone I don't know where to put him. I know he was a top 100 player out of high school. I don't know what his ceiling is. And the same kind of with blocker. I don't know what their roles are yet. I feel like if they stick it out here, my God, it's so rare, and I know Devo's back for a 4th year, but if they could stick it out 2-3 years here, I feel like they could turn into pretty big weapons for this team one way or another, whether that's defense or crashing the boards, getting some easy points in the paint like with Bay Fall, blocker, playing that level of defense. It feels like they could find their mold or whatever that is eventually. Any doubts that this is Muss's best team yet? I just don't want to make that. I don't want to make that claim with just one game, right? The potential, absolutely. This could be one of the, like I said a minute ago. Steven, I always mess that up. I'm sorry. Like I said a little while ago, we don't want to overreact to one game, but I also said this team has the potential. It is his deepest team. Could be one of his most, maybe not like raw NBA talent-wise, but like experience, right? Combined with some of that NBA talent, guys like Brazil, and then you have the elite defender like Devo, who could apparently now, he's back to maybe playing the point. Maybe he's going to end up being the point guard moving forward. And that's going to kind of free up those guys to do whatever else on your out in the perimeter. The potential's there for this to be the best team they've had in the 2000s. I mean, and again, that's saying a lot. I'll make it something for you. Muss has even said best team yet. No, Muss said this is his deepest team. Now, maybe he said it was his best team, but I've only heard him say it's his deepest. Love that Note and Mude Tony squad. Yeah. And these guys could be better than them. I don't want to overreact to just one game. I don't want to do that. But God dang, how could you not be just blown away by what we've seen versus Purdue, the game before that, tonight? Like, it's just building up. Like this, again, man, I do think their ceiling, I agree with Blake Lovell. I had him on. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can go watch it. Go watch it if you're a Patreon supporter. Blake Lovell He tells you all about it, man. I get your reservations, but they just look smoother and way more balanced. Right. Again, they do, and they did prove it against Purdue, a quality team, a high quality team. I agree with you. I think you and I are saying the same thing. I think their ceiling is very high. Purdue game told me all I need to know. Just saying. All right, guys. I'm not saying I disagree at all. We're all on the same page. This is very impressive, and they're off to a hell of a start. So, all right, that's gonna do it. I appreciate you guys for being here. We all agree this team has the potential to be really special. So matchups will matter in March, of course. You got to get there, sure, to the people who are really cautious. I get it. I'm typically pretty cautious. I try to be. But matchups do matter if you get to that point, and I think this team will. Matchups will matter. How much exactly, I don't know, because this could be a team that doesn't matter if you're bigger. Look at Purdue, right? Doesn't matter if you have a lot of athleticism. Look at Arkansas. They might be one of the most athletic teams in the SEC, if not one of the more athletic teams in all of college basketball. I don't get people that are trying to drop them backwards. I don't get that. You're getting some national people trying to drop them back to 15, 16, 17 or whatever. Bilas, didn't he? Someone said he's got him at like 18. No way. I think and I don't really care about rankings in basketball. I don't care. All I care about is seeding. That's what I care about. What's my seeding? That's what I care about. So, yeah. Really good team. Really good start. This is how you do it. You got some things you're going to have to clean up, and we know Musselman will do just that. All right, guys. I'm off. I'm going to go to bed. I appreciate you. Please consider joining Patreon. The link is provided for you in the live chat. I do appreciate you guys and the sponsors, people here in the live chat. We've got another game coming right up around the corner. Friday's going to be another busy day. Friday, November 10th, Gardner-Webb. I'm not streaming. I don't know if I'm going to stream another game for a while. I'm going to be real with you. Maybe Stanford. I don't know. It's just if you're not showing the actual game, traffic is just not there, and it's not worth me streaming it. I mean, it's just not. So I think the goal right now is for the Don't Read the Comments guys. We're going to do the Duke game, assuming no changes, no change in any plans. So I don't know how many more games I'm going to stream here. Don't know that I'll do any more at all. I mean, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Never say never. But again, Duke is on. Don't read the comments. I should be in that studio with those guys watching the Duke game and having a watch party with them for Duke. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. This basketball season is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you guys, if not on Wednesday, I will see you on Friday. All right, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you around.